London, the capital of the United Kingdom, is home to nearly 9 million people. Remarkably, close to 40% of its residents were born outside the country, making it one of the most diverse and multicultural cities on Earth. While this diversity might seem like a modern phenomenon shaped by globalization, London has actually been a meeting point of different cultures for nearly 2,000 years. From Roman settlers to Norman rulers, from the Tudor and Stuart eras to the Victorian age, the city has stood at the center of empires, revolutions, wars, and cultural exchange. Over centuries, each era left its mark, building layer upon layer to create the modern metropolis we see today. But how did a small settlement grow into one of the most powerful and influential cities in the world? This is the story of how London rose to global prominence. London's origins date back almost 2,000 years to the Roman invasion of Britain in 43 AD. The Romans established a fortified settlement along the River Thames, calling it Londinium. Its location was carefully chosen at a narrow crossing point of the river, making it ideal for building a bridge and connecting trade routes across the empire. Initially small and vulnerable, Londinium faced destruction just over a decade later. In 60 AD, a massive rebellion led by the Celtic queen Boudica swept through southeastern Britain, burning the city to the ground along with other Roman settlements. After crushing the revolt, the Romans rebuilt Londinium into a well-planned city. It soon featured impressive public buildings, including a large forum, temples, bathhouses, an amphitheater, and a massive basilica. By the end of the 1st century, the population had grown to around 60,000, and Londinium became the capital of Roman Britain. To protect the city, defensive walls were constructed between the late 2nd and early 3rd centuries. These walls would define London's boundaries for centuries. However, by the early 5th century, the Roman Empire was collapsing. In 410 AD, Roman forces withdrew from Britain, and Londinium gradually fell into decline, eventually being abandoned. The city's revival came with the arrival of the Anglo-Saxons in the 5th and 6th centuries. Instead of reoccupying the old Roman city, they built a new settlement nearby called Lundenwic, located west of the original walls. By the 7th century, Lundenwic had grown into a thriving trading port with around 10,000 inhabitants. It was also home to one of the earliest versions of St. Paul's Cathedral, established in 604 AD, helping spread Christianity throughout the region. But prosperity attracted danger. Viking raids began in the 9th century, with attacks growing increasingly frequent. In 871, Viking forces occupied London. In 886, the Anglo-Saxon king Alfred the Great recaptured the city. He restored the old Roman walls and moved the settlement back within them, renaming it Lundenburg, what we now know as London. Over the following centuries, London steadily grew in importance. Although Winchester remained the official capital for some time, London's economic and political influence continued to rise. A major turning point came in 1066 with the Norman Conquest. William, Duke of Normandy, defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings and marched into London. He was crowned king in Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day. The Normans built powerful fortifications across England, including the Tower of London, which became a symbol of royal authority. During the medieval period, London expanded rapidly. Its population surged from around 15,000 in 1100 to over 80,000 by 1300. The city became a major hub for trade, attracting merchants from across Europe, including French, Flemish, German, and Danish traders, as well as a significant Jewish community. London's importance was further reinforced by political developments. The city gained greater independence through the Magna Carta in 1215, allowing it to govern itself. Trade guilds flourished, regulating industries and maintaining standards across professions. However, life in medieval London was far from easy. Overcrowded conditions led to disease outbreaks, most notably the Black Death in 1348, which killed thousands. Social unrest was also common, including the Peasants' Revolt of 1381. Despite these challenges, London continued to grow. By the 16th century, under the Tudor dynasty, it had become one of the largest cities in Europe. Its population expanded dramatically, driven by trade and commerce. London's global connections widened, reaching as far as Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Trading companies like the East India Company played a key role in building what would later become the British Empire. The city also became a cultural center. Theaters flourished, especially outside the city walls, with the Globe Theatre hosting the works of William Shakespeare. The 17th century brought both transformation and turmoil. Political conflict led to the English Civil War, and in 1649, King Charles I was executed in London. Soon after, disaster struck. The Great Plague of 1665 killed tens of thousands, and in 1666, the Great Fire of London destroyed much of the city. Rebuilding efforts reshaped London, with stricter building regulations and the use of brick and stone. Architect Sir Christopher Wren played a major role, designing St. Paul's Cathedral and many other buildings. By the 18th century, London had become a global financial center. Institutions like the Bank of England and major trading companies strengthened its economic power. The 19th century saw explosive growth during the Industrial Revolution. London became the largest city in the world, with millions of residents. Railways and the underground system transformed transportation, while landmarks like the Houses of Parliament, Tower Bridge, and Trafalgar Square were built. Despite its grandeur, the city faced serious problems, including pollution and poor sanitation. The Great Stink of 1858 led to the construction of a modern sewer system, dramatically improving public health. In the 20th century, London endured 2 world wars. During World War I, it experienced its first aerial bombings. In World War II, the Blitz caused widespread destruction, killing tens of thousands and leaving many homeless. After the war, London rebuilt once again. New housing replaced old structures, and waves of immigrants brought fresh cultures and diversity to the city. The 1960s marked a cultural revolution, with London at the center of global music and fashion trends, influenced by iconic bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Today, London stands as one of the most influential cities in the world. Its rich history, shaped by centuries of migration, conflict, innovation, and culture, has made it a true global capital. From its Roman beginnings to its modern skyline, London's story is a testament to resilience, diversity, and constant evolution.